Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Gman Recaps. I'm joined here by my co-host Vikingkop. It's Thursday evening, so that means it's time to have a look through. Today we're going to have a look through Gman Division 1 and catch a few highlights from other games in Gman Division 2 and 3. We've just been talking and laughing over them as well. So let's have a quick look in the division. Where's my... There we go. Let's have a look in Gman. I'm going to bring up a screen here. The leaderboard for Division 1 shows some unusual activity here at the top. Somebody is streaking away with it. Who is that, Vikingkop?
Who is streaking away? Who is taking the division by the storm? Who is? Ah, it's me! Oh, amazing! I can't believe this. 500. What a beginning for this season. Very nice.
I don't want to jinx it, but you've been looking forward to this for the entire season. We've been doing recaps so far, so we'll make the most of this week, I'm sure. So
Yay!
This is Gman Division 1. We're going to have a look through some of the matches that have occurred, and also we haven't really had a look at the team since the beginning of the season, so when we did our preview, so we'll have a chance to have a look through and see what's happening to some of these teams, whether they're building or whether they're losing some key players, and I know there's been some big players lost over the last couple of weeks, so let's get right into it. We're going to start, I guess, at the top, so we'll have a look at the match that occurred between Viking, who you've just heard, and Full Metal. So let's bring up the BB2 League Manager. Here it is, and this was Chaos versus Nurgle. I was watching live. It's quite an exciting match. A lot of people were watching actually. Herringzord was streaming this one, and it was a good, fun match to have a look at. Viking, tell me about your thoughts on the match. We can have a look.
Well, playing Metal is always a pleasure because I mean he plays really nice. He has a concept of the game that I enjoy a lot, and also he had an amazing team, so the matchup was, was a star game, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'm really happy that I managed to score in my drive. Metal put me a lot of pressure with a couple of removals in one turn after a few turns in which no damage was taken from his team, or he removed two of my pieces. He, in fact, killed straight away one of my coolest players, my favorite player in the roster. I am so sad to see Mantogors go from the team.
It was remarked upon he basically got destroyed halfway through your offensive drive. You were in the first half, weren't you? So
yes, I had that habit of exposing him a little bit, but a beastman with a tail looks so cool in game that you can't really leave him wandering around. You want him in the middle of the party. And yeah, it was a pod into death. So it's the second time it happens to me, to this team. It's quite sad, but okay. It was a worthy school for Metal, and now I mean he has recycled himself in the shape of a rotor, and he's playing for his team. So I'm kind of happy about that.
I don't know what a rotter with a tail would look like, but I think that would look quite impressive.
No, I think he have to start from zero. So, but if he ever levels, I would really ask Metal to give him a tail just for the background, for the
fluff.
The cool factor.
For the fluff, yeah.
For the fluff, exactly. So first half went nice. I scored in turn 7 because I was forced to do so thanks to Metal's defense. And then a 2-turner with Nurgle is difficult, especially when I have all my players in the back. And I put a shield, a wall of chaos warriors and guard and stuff, and then he couldn't really pass through. And the second half was a really nice tactical game of picking here, one hit there, in which I got some lucky rolls and some early removals that made Metal play in the back foot, in my opinion, for some time. He had to play very conservatively, and he had to risk everything in the last turn, in which I think I may not have done the best defense in the history of my coaching. I think I should have stricken the scoring threat. A lot of people has told me so I've been spanking myself for some time today.
It's kind of
But
when you watch when you're playing the game and you know a lot of other people are watching as well. You know that any sort of mistake you make is going to be pointed out to you, but that's kind of part of the game, isn't it? Like you can't see everything, and people make mistakes sometimes. So you just know that it's going to be highlighted by a few people. So that's not to worry. You made some really good plays as well. So I thought it was kind of evened itself out. One of the things I noticed was that because Metal was down a Nurgle Warrior in this game, it was missed next game from the previous week, and also he's got less guard than you do. It meant that he was really struggling when the brawls got really close, when everything was in full contact. Then he was kind of struggling to get some 2D blocks in different
well,
places.
yes, that is true, but it has to be said that he made a bazillion one-day blocks, and most of them were successful. And with successful, I mean that even most of them
Mm.
were bringing my players down.
Yeah.
So that kept him in the game,
Mm.
and that was really bad for me, but was kind of cool because kept the tension in the game. So I liked that. And yeah, the funny thing is that out of all the blocks we made, I think that we have counted 40 blocks for me, 41 blocks for him because of this
Mhm.
insane amount of one-day blocks. He got only 6 armor breaks because he had less killing players on the pitch, and also I removed them both mid second half. One was the end of the first half, and the other was mid second half.
Mm.
But he got 2 players dead and one maimed into retirement. So I have to say that I lost the Bash War
Yeah. Yeah.
that game, and that's kind of sad for a
Uh,
core thematic team.
it was a real heartbreaker at the end there when Metal was going for the Agi 5 play with his Pestigore, and he just went for one final pass and couldn't quite make it. He'd used his reroll already, so it was close to being 1-1, but didn't quite end up that way. So how did the teams end up looking at the end? You bought some. You said you always liked to. I think you started off with 15 players. Is that right? So no, 14. How many players did you start off with in that
Well,
matchup?
I like to play with 3-player bench.
Mm.
I got some extra cash beyond the top of 150 before the game, and I knew that playing with metal, some damage was about to be taken. Um, Not that big amount of damage
Yeah.
that eventually I got, but something was going to happen. So I decided to spend some of the spare or the extra cash into an additional beastman to
Yeah.
have my 3 bench. And now I only have a one-man bench, I think, and I will have to replace with 2 rookie goats
Yeah.
before I play Hat in 1 hour and a half.
Okay. So a couple more rookies for this one, and you're up against the
Hmm.
Lizards for this week. So your team's still looking fine, minus the flash of the Manticores, the tackle beastmen, and uh, let's see. Metal's team has actually come out pretty strong. He's leveled up another Rogue Warrior, so a bit more guard maybe for him for this one. And I think any rotters that did actually suffer in the game are fully replaced. So he might have ended up even +1 rotter. I can't remember, but
Yeah, I provided him with a continuous stream of replacement routers.
yeah. So he's got to think
So
of
actually, no real damage taken by his team,
yeah.
and a level into a scary Nurgle warrior. So
Mm.
good game for him, I think.
Yeah, and a bit disappointing for the rest of the division. Certainly, they were hoping to see
Well,
some
you know,
good
that's not
players
my
go.
that's not my problem anymore.
Yeah, certainly not going to be a problem anymore. So that leaves you. Let's have a look at back to the division again. That leaves Viking at 15 points. So looking really good. Remember this for people that don't know Gman. There's going to be 4 spots at the top of Division 1 who are going to head into the end of season playoffs. And certainly Vikingkop is looking pretty good so far, but still it's a 13 game season and it's only 5 games played, so there's plenty of strong teams out there still to go up against. Let's see, Full Metal meanwhile is on 8 points, so he's just sitting there 2-2-1, so mid-table at the moment with 5 games played, but yeah, he's got a really strong team. 2020 is still one of the sort of one of the top teams in terms of team value for the division. Okay, so who's next? So I had a game against Sage this week, and this was a scary game. against Sage's Slaanesh Sorcerers, and the rats really performed for me. I was pretty pleased. The first half, he won the toss and made me attack, which I never like doing, and I managed to sort of stall it and score on turn 8 actually. Yep. So left him one turn to beat me up, and then the second half, I really just scrambled the defense, and he got some pretty unlucky rolls at different times. I rolled a blitz actually in the second half, which was probably
a classic for your team.
Yeah, it's what the rats are good at, rolling blitzes. And I was like, I had a blitz on the guy underneath the ball, his beastman underneath the ball, but I snaked the GFI to get to him. But otherwise, he could have been in big trouble. But yeah, I managed to sort of delay and
that was a backfiring blitz, because actually you snake the go for it in the ball, and that it KO'd.
Yeah, KO'd my best
It was like, okay, I got the blitz, but I lost a key player for defense. So then, shit.
Yeah, it was.
But okay.
I was kind of almost giving up the half at that point, when I thought, oh shit, that's really blown it there. But somehow I managed to just sort of keep on putting some pressure on, keep on scrambling, and yeah, the rats seemed to hold up okay. I mean, it was a pretty depleted team. You can see I was playing with a couple of linemen, so I was a long way down team value. Played with Glart, Wizard, 2 Babes, a Bribe. I had a lot of inducements, so, and I lost one of my good gutter runners, so Blodge Step Guard Snickle Spengler is no more. He was trying to do some sort of hero dodge at the end of the game, but yeah, I think I'm losing about 1 key player a turn. Lost my best Storm Vermin early on in the season, and now I've lost the gutter runner, so could be a little bit tricky for the rats this season. But also of note, I've been having a look at this guy, One Eye Farouk, and he's got 37 star player points, 35 of which are from MVPs. He has been sucking up the MVPs, and I've been thinking, Jesus, dude, when are you going to take one which actually is lethal and die? So he's building up the useless skills already. He's already got into Fend, and he really is somebody that needs to go on my team. So if anybody would like to come along and kill him, I think Donkey Dragon is my next opponent, so you feel free to target One Eye Farouk and take him out. He's just hoovering up all the MVPs, and I'd much rather they went on some more worthy rat. So we'll see about that later. Alright, let's so that leaves, where does that leave us on the table? That leaves me on 302, also Sage, so a ton of people on 9 points here in Division 1, so interesting to see how things go for the next week. Now, did you see any of Rift Cannon's match? I haven't caught any of this. Viking, what did you notice?
I know that he lost this round against. It was against KJ, I think.
It was KJ, yep.
KJ and his remorseless Killy team. But no, I was not able to see the repeat. I think it was not streamed anywhere, and it really helps me to follow up the games of my league mates.
Yep. When
but when they are not, especially when Harry Sword streams, I try to join, or if not, I see the repeat on his Twitch channel. But of course, I don't have enough time to follow everything. So what is there, I pick. It's as simple as that.
Well, look, I think Keji has, say it quietly because he's one of our co-hosts on this recap team, but I think he has one of the best looking teams in the entire division. I really think that this team is a mean necro team. I think obviously the highlights are these 2 amazing werewolves, and 3 highlights. What's the other highlight? Skeletor.
Skeletor.
And I know that you have a match coming up with Keji in the upcoming weeks that you're promising to put Skeletor in the bin for good. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think he's got some sort of bounty out on him, and this is 1 killer white here. Really, really good. When did he get the guard on it?
I think it was either last game or two games ago.
See, if I would have chosen that, Mighty Bow, doubles for jump up, piling on tackle, I would have definitely gone pro for a Skeletor, so to get
Yeah,
some free rerolls on the blitzes.
if you think on players dedicated skills, good option. If you think on the team as a whole, you can see that he only had one guarder
True. Yeah.
in the
Actually, he
shape of
needs guard,
Herb,
doesn't he? Yeah.
and he's really lacking in the guard department, and that can punish him a lot when playing against the other bashy teams like Orcs, like Chaos, like Nargle. I would say Nargle, but yeah, actually KG gave the bash to the Nargle team of Metal.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, he knows he can struggle, so he needs the guard.
Actually, yeah, I think you're right. Looking at the rest of the guard here, he's lost a flesh golem last season. I think he might be losing. Well, we'll see what happens to this white here. That's just taken a movement bust anyway. So, yeah, I think he does need to develop more guard on his players. It's just a little bit of a shame for Skeletor that he's not the ultimate killer that he could be. But look at these wolves; they're looking pretty amazing, and I reckon they were must have been pretty helpful defeating Riff here. Riff took a bit of a loss to his movement. That's his plus movement blitzer, one of his best blitzers. Blodge, step, tackle, diving tackle plus movement. So he'll be a bit gutted about that. One of his near legend blitzers here, but apart from that, his team's still looking intact, and he's got level to his runner as well. Just looking at this runner, I really don't know. I don't buy runners for my Dark Elf team, so I don't know how I would develop them. He's got the stat up first, then dodge. I think dodge is sensible, and then he's gone for
Pass.
Next. So I wonder what he'll get
Pass
next.
it's like some kind of quarterback, not fully dedicated, but it's an additional tool he has. Good retriever for the kicks. Useful for developing or developing moving the ball in case of a one turn. I've seen him using this runner to make a long bomb from the touchdown line to the midfield, and then execute a flawless one turn to draw the game and go into overtime. That was in the playoffs season 5. Awesome play. So I mean, it's another piece who opens him a world of opportunities. Problem is that is vulnerable. And I mean, in my last game I played with him last season, where he beat me. I targeted him as soon as I could because he was only dodge and he has no block. So with any really dedicated killer piece, you can remove him from play easily because he's armor 7. And I actually killed him, but he output it into a body hard or something.
I think there's always a little bit of when you play with elf teams and their throwers or their runners, I think there's always a little bit of a choice to be made. Do you want to make your thrower / runner into a more dedicated passing machine, so taking pass, accurate, strong arm? Sometimes I don't really like strong arm, but that's a possibility to make those longer passes. Or do you make him just a more of an all-round survivable person with block, dodge, those sort of skills, to make it useful when you are perhaps not on offense, or at times when he doesn't have the ball? So it'd be interesting to see what he takes next. Does he take block, or does
that
he
is
take
most
accurate?
interesting because actually the chosen skill he's given this player matches perfectly with the second definition of multitasking player or flexible player, because he has rolled guard on this player.
Oh, we can see what he's just taken. So yeah, okay, so that's good for multitasking. I really like that, actually. I like that choice because
because he's mobile guard with a lot of speed. He can hold the ball, he can pass, let's say, reliably at some point with agility 4. I mean, it's an all-comer player, and still only 24 points for the next skill. And then the next skill could be, I mean, anything. Accurate would be nice. Block would be nice. Leader if he wants extra rerolls.
Certainly. So Riff is looking good, I think. He's got a very nice team. Although he lost this match 2-1 against Freakazoid's Excalibur, he's still in a good position, and he's got some very powerful elves. These elves are sort of like the elves that you play a long time to develop. So I think he's still looking good for one of my picks for a playoff spot, I think, this season. So there we go. So that's the top few teams. Now, did you say that later on this evening you were up against HUD's alliterative Allosauri?
Yes, I am.
Looking forward to this match?
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to play HUD because, I mean, I've never played him. We don't know each other from before, but I've seen him play in previous games, and he's such an superb coach that, I mean, he's the kind of guy that I love having on the field, because he will give me a pain during the game, and I really enjoy the challenge. I mean, that's the point that I enjoy most of this game, the challenge of facing a guy who is going to make you suffer for the win. If you win it, then you really enjoy it. It tastes in your mouth.
Yep.
If you're able to win a good coach.
Yeah, so
that's the best of the game for me.
Yeah, I think this is why you play better people in sport, and why you play, you always aim for looking against the highest, toughest competition that you can, just for the, if you get that victory, it means you've really deserved it, haven't you? So I think looking at this, he's still got a team that's 1600. So how many inducements are you going to be giving him?
Close to 400 something.
So I think he'll be getting probably Slibley,
and a Wiz.
A Slibley and a Wizard maybe, or it's not known for huge amounts of fouling Lizardman team, so probably not the bribe. But yeah, Slibley and a Wizard or something, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. With those 7 Saurus plus the Crocs, and Slibley getting him another guard.
So he has 2 strength 5 players in the roster because of Dread Saurian.
Sure, yeah, and every Saurus having block as well.
Yes, and the inducement in the game of Slibley against me, for example, would give him another Saurian with guard that would be useful. Stand firm and grab, very nice skills, and also a bench. So I don't know. It depends. If I'm able to remove his key players early in the game, then he will struggle. But if not, I may lose for the first time in the season. So who knows?
That's going to be a good match. Now let's see who HUD just played. HUD was just up against the Jungle Corsairs of Dreamify this week. So he's just coming off a week here where he's lost to the Dark Elves. And a match I didn't see, but it looks as though, I mean, Jungle Corsairs have not had much luck during this season, and they are playing a little bit light with 3 loners in this match. They still managed to pull off a 1-0 win, so good work for Dreamify here. No major losses on either side, so just the death of a rookie skink here, but wonder how he managed to squeak that one. Look at this Witch Elf for the Jungle Corsairs. It's got pretty much everything, and I wonder if any Dauntless rolls. I remember talking about this Dauntless at pre-season and saying, I don't know if there's anything else that we could have. I think I probably would have suggested Sidestep rather than Dauntless, but I bet the Dauntless definitely did some work. If we asked Dreamify, he would probably be justifying the Dauntless there. So against a match where most of your big opposition is strength.
Yeah, I watched this game myself, at least the end of the first half and second half, because as I said, Dreamify is a streamer, and it's easier for me when somebody tells notice or gives notice that he's streaming the game live. And I missed the beginning of the game. He chatted or mentioned that he got lucky and got a blitz in HUD's drive.
Okay, yeah.
So I reached for turn 7, turn 8, first half. HUD had already used his wizard, probably to recover the ball, and he needed to make a funky play that involved a Croxigore ball pickup and go for it to score, but it did not work. So 0-0 first half, and in the second half, the Corsairs were able to score in turn 3 or 4, something like that. Dreamify decided not to stall, as is a quite usual tactic with this elf team. His approach to the game is slightly different to some other coaches. This is perfectly legit, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. And then decided to put some trouble to the lizards, and he succeeded. So I'm happy that at least the Corsairs are back in the league after a particularly rough start.
Yeah.
With the first win.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, back in business. With the Dark Elves with their armor 8, I don't actually mind if I'm playing that sort of matchup with the lizards. I don't actually mind when I've got some blodgers or blodge steppers. I don't mind tying up a few key lizard men with one or two blodge steppers, like just basing them at the end of the turn if they need to be, because it's really frustrating for a lizard man coach. You can't dodge away with your Saurus. You have to just like block, hoping for powers, and most of the time a blodge stepper will be absolutely fine, and then we'll just be able to dodge away on a 1/36 in the next turn. So tying up Sauruses in a match like this is quite crucial. So
yeah, that's actually what Dream 5 was doing. He was using either his blodgers or his loners.
Yeah.
Because loners are at the end of the day cannon fodder, to lock the Sauri in place and to prevent Hut from gaining this mobility. And it worked. He was able to stop him successfully.
But the key thing is that unlike, say, Woody Loners or Skaven Line Rats, Dark Elf Loners are armor value 8, which is...
Yes,
you can...
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference indeed.
They can stand up for a long time, can't they? If the opponent's not got Mighty Blows, just a block Saurus or something, it can stand up for quite a good amount of time, so you can give away a few free blocks if it's getting you advantage elsewhere on the field. So, yeah, so that's going to be a good match to look forward to, but let's see where that leaves them standing in the league. So Hud is one of the 302 players on 9 points, and he's now playing Viking, as we said, in the next match. And Dreamify is up here, 1-1-3, so it's his first win for the season so far. But certainly, let's hope the Dark Elves start springing back into action. The 1730 Dark Elves, so with some superb players. That Witch Elf is quite great.
Yeah, Nelly is kind of a classic in this league.
Yeah.
She's somehow the immortal Witch Elf.
Sure.
She spends a lot of time in the KO box, to be honest.
This is a long-standing team, isn't it? So a very one of the oldest in Gman, I expect. So Dreamify's team. Now Toast Guy. Let's come to Toast Guy. I think this is the last match of Gman 1 we're going to have a look at. This is a team I have a lot of affection for, because Toast Guy was one of my opponents in the playoffs last season. He had some pretty bad luck. So let's how did he do this time round? Interdimensional bullshit, beating Megos We Like to Drink this week. 2 games to 1. Has he still got that? Yes, he's still got Am I Useless? The strength 4 catcher that's been roaming around doing some damage. But dwarves are not a team that elves like to place. Have you ever played much dwarves, Viking?
Well, I don't mind playing dwarves with my Chaos team.
Okay, no, with dwarves I meant. Yeah, obviously Claw Mighty Blow is pretty good against dwarves, but
yeah, last season I played Harinsword in one of the funniest games of the whole season, because we were joined by Invoice and having some lots, and his team really suffered during the whole season, included against my team. And the other was Mego, first game this season, in which basically I introduced Mego into the world of pain that Gman 1 is.
Okay. Mego's, yes, that's right, because he's just come up from Gman 2, hasn't he? So I suppose so. So there we go. Interdimensional bullshit, winning 2-1 against Mego's dwarfs. Any stat ups? He's got a second thrower. He had a really experienced thrower, didn't he? But I think who died in my match against him. And
you killed him, actually.
Yeah.
You mean guy.
I think it was a game of many fouls, many getting the boot in quite often. But he's obviously starting to try and develop his second thrower here. I don't know whether it's a good idea to have 2 throwers, but obviously that's his plan. They are kind of free skills. A thrower doesn't cost that much more than a regular.
Well, he rolled doubles, and he gave him strong arm, So I see that we are having their Avalanche 2.0.
So comes back to what we were talking about elf throwers. Toskai obviously likes to develop. He's got a bit of both really here. So he's got an all-round thrower with many useful sort of skills for
Yep.
defending, and then he's obviously
We,
trying to defend.
we call him the blitzer thrower.
The blitzer thrower, yeah, because he pretty much is like he's got those skills: blodge, step, tackle, diving tackle, and then he's going for maybe an offensive, hoof it down the pitch, sort of strong arm, accurate guy as well. So that's what he's trying to develop here. So he's trying to get his team to recover a little bit, and they're still looking fairly healthy actually. So Tosguy's still on the ball. How's Mego's dwarf team doing? Because when I played him, he only had, I think, 11 players, including the Death Roller. So has he managed to beef up his roster at all here? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so
I see at least 12 players in the roster.
I think he's yeah. So he's got the second. He's bought a rookie troll slayer, so he's got up to 12. I don't know. I used to be really scared of Death Rollers, but they're just like another big guy, aren't they? Really. I thought when I first played against Death Rollers, when I was starting out the game, I thought, oh my god, strength 7 and armor value 10. How can you possibly beat this? But it's just like it doesn't really make a difference whether it's a troll or a Death Roller, does it? Really? It's a big dude that you generally just try and play around, or maybe I'm viewing it from a Skaven point of view.
Well, no, actually, a Death Roller is this kind of piece that is designed to really unbalance a little bit the game, to give the dwarves this big plus in strength with strength 7, but also it has its drawbacks in the shape of a second weapon. So he needs, or he's going to be expelled after a drive unless a 2+ is rolled with the bribe. Luckily for Mego, he has the bribe stadium, so he always have this chance. He always has this chance to get the 2+. He may fail it once every 6 times, but of course the thing I don't like at all from the Death Roller is its team value, because it's a huge bloat maybe for the team. This is a level 4 Death Roller with 3 level ups, 49 skill points. That means that he's been rocking around a lot of time in this team.
Yep.
But team value is 230,000.
He is the top
30, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he is the top team in Division 1. He's the highest team value team currently. So with
and this is almost $250,000 of TV that is gone with the ref expelling it or sending it off.
Yeah,
and that kind of sucks.
If you think about it, then if you include the bribe that is required to keep this guy on the pitch for the whole game, for example, then or for nearly the whole game, if you include that bribe, this guy has 330,000 team value. So that's an incredible amount of TV that you'd be giving away to other people in terms of wizards, star players, or anything like that. So I'm not sure the Death Roller is like super effective, but I'm not a big dwarf player, so I don't really know for sure. And it's probably a bit of fun, isn't it? So it's good to roll around, breaking tackle and blitzing people. I mean, it's still got the loner. So it can fail things. This is a block.
This one has block, at least. That means that he will get reliably 3 die blocks with block. That means that you need a triple skull plus a failed 4+ loner roll if you are going to try to sacrifice a riddle for this. So gives it reliability. So I think there's a point in it, actually.
I think it's good to have a dwarf team in their top division because there's no chaos dwarfs, and Mego's dwarfs are probably the most feared team of all the elf agility teams. So it's kind of the rock paper scissors. He doesn't like to play against the claw stuff, but he certainly doesn't mind. Going up against the elves and putting the mighty blow tackle on some skinny guys. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing in the division. All right, let's have a quick look at the last 4 teams. We've got Yacind, Pyro, and Andy, 90, and Gerber, all of which had admin results this week. I think I contacted Bleeding Hippie and he said it was who's the admin for the Division 1, and he said there was just some real life things getting in the way of these games getting played. So let's have a quick look. We'll have a look at what's happening to Yasin's Super Green team. They took the admin loss this week, but this is a really nice team. He was operating in Division 2 and doing really well in Division 2 last season. His killer's obviously taken an AV knock. Don't know. That is a fine blitzer to be thinking about losing there. I think you would just accept he's now become a bit like a human blitzer, right?
Exactly. Plus movement minus armor with the same team value. Well, with the boost of the extra 10k for the movement. Yeah, well, it's a bit expensive, but I mean, it's a killer.
Yeah.
And as a killer, it does his job.
And he's not got any equivalent of that on the team, I don't think, is he? Until we can maybe develop some other, one of his other blitzers maybe. But he's got a really nice strength 4 frenzy piece as well. So he's got 2 very interesting blitzers, well developed in all round. But he's also got 2 rookie Black Orcs, which no Orc player wants to see. So the difference between this and a really highly developed sort of 2000 TV Orc team would be the quality of the Black Orcs, I think.
But we shall not forget about the real star, the hidden star of this team, that in my opinion is the thrower himself, with a boost in movement and in strength, block, tackle, kickoff, return, sure hands and pass. Super versatile piece. Versatile piece, yeah, exactly. And really difficult to bring down, not only because of his teammates, orcs surrounding him and providing him with a wall of strength 4 and guard, but also of his own strength 4. That's a really amazing stat up for a ball carrier. Plus strength. That really gives him an edge when it comes to sacking the ball.
I played against Powered's undead team in the last game of the season last year that had a strength 4 bludgeoning ghoul, and it was a nightmare to try and get at. My only real opportunity was I mean, unless he had a real disaster with some snakes or something and left him exposed, was to use the wizard to try and get him down. So I suspect a lot of people will try and wizard Green Lantern if they can. But yeah, that's a definite. And one thing that's missing from this team, I think, is one lineman who's a dirty player. I think out of these linemen here, he'll be looking to maybe do some sort of MVP in a vanity pass or something like that to try and get him up to 6 and get a dirty player.
Well, he had one in the past. I don't know if it was this season or the season before, but he leveled again, and seems that he didn't want to keep him, or maybe was injured, and I can't see in my table. I'm also remembering Hulk Smash Mix next game, now recycled into Hulk Smash Feel No Pain, or Hulk Feels No Pain. Block, guard, Mighty Blow, Black Orc that I think he lost this season to, I'm not sure, maybe to Sage. Couldn't say, because Yasin was one of the 2 teams, including you, that beat the Sage this season. So
yeah, that was a quite a mighty game. I was very impressed by seeing Orcs, who are naturally not very good against Claw Mighty Blow, to take down Sage's Chaos team. So good work for Yasin. He'll be back this week. Let's have a quick look at Pyro TJ's Cryptically Humorous. A nice undead team, recovering a little bit from the loss of their star mummy this season, but already on the way up. They got the 2-0 admin win against Heretics of Lilith. I don't know where the SPP managed to fall, but I don't think there are any extra levels. This isn't the... I'll just let's have a quick look to see if they leveled up at all. Just a level and a zombie. Allus the Vanguard, so nothing. Where did the 8 SPP for this zombie here? And 5 on a ghoul and 5 on a white, so levels in quite decent places here. And Allus the Vanguard. Shit, you don't really want SPP on your minus movement. This is the shambling zombie that doesn't get very far but fouls people, so the worst person to get 8 SPP randomly allocated to.
Yeah, I think it's becoming like the team mascot. I think all of our teams, or most of them, have a special player Mine had until Metal killed it yesterday, but I have to build a new one, I
Yep.
guess. And I remember Terry Tennant from the Bargain Boosters last season, who is kind of a superstar now
Yep.
in the how is the league of super teams that are not in the league anymore.
Oh, the is it the Legendary Invitational or something? No, what's the
Something like
Yep.
that.
Yep. So it's a team. It's where you can bring back your old teams, right? So,
Yeah, and they are playing there, so I'm so happy for that. And yeah, this I mean it's a movement boosted zombie, but it has some charisma.
yeah, I think it's a pet player, and he'll certainly be fouling people in the upcoming future. So this was the one with where he'd actually gone and oh no, sorry, his interesting. He's gone with a level 3 mummy, but I think probably a more normal skill is stand firm with the mummies. So it's unusual to see grab and break tackle before the stand firm here. So what?
Well, maybe unusual, yes, but not a bad choice neither. I mean, grab is very useful to allow you to give to get more blocks if the one from the mum is not successful,
Yeah,
and helps also with one turning, for which Pyro has Carnivore Splitter. It's a player who gives him this opportunity for the one turning.
Yep.
And break tackle allows the mummy to move, so prevents it or him or her or whatever from being tied, as we were speaking before, like the Sauri.
You can't just
Because with a
stick a
2
loner on him.
plus dodge, she can dodge. And also, it's kind of last time, not even last time, but decent resort for cage breaking.
Or even just putting the guard into very interesting places. Actually, you can probably do a reasonably safe dodge in 2+ dodge into an interesting spot with your strength 5 guard piece, I suppose. So that break tackle does certainly give you some extra options there if you look into that. Because I don't know how often you blitz with mummies, to be honest. With if they don't have a block, then they're not that reliable blitzers. So so that might be an option for the mummy here. Let's have a quick look. We've got 2 more teams to have a look at. At the bottom of the table here, on 3 points, so struggling with 1 win and 3 losses, we've got Andy 90 and Gerber. So Andy 90 is actually Donkey Dragon in our forums, isn't he? So so who have we got here? The Dark Elf teams. Viking, tell me about this team.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what we have in here. I mean, I played Donkey Dragon in the second game, and yeah, he got the wrong end of the stick that game. I was really sorry because we are good mates from the clan league, and yeah, it was kind of punishing for his team having a minus agility into his best witch elf.
Yep.
And then a minus strength into a blitzer that I see that is still around. I guess that he's not using him as a blitzer anymore, but maybe as a catcher or as a runner, kind of fake Wood Elf catcher for some, because yeah, he's movement 9, agility 4, blotch and catch. So yeah, it can be considered something like a fake and super expensive Wood Elf catcher, yes, and also killed one blitzer and one level 3 for blitzer by accident. I'm so sorry about that.
I'm not sure whether this. I think because he had the admin game this week, I'm not sure whether this guy will get fired. I would definitely fire him for 230,000.
Yeah,
a bit more than a Wood Elf catcher. So I think I would probably fire him. He's got 80,000. I don't know really. That seems a lot of team value to keep on for next week, but it means, I suppose, it does give him a 1-turn threat, which is, a considerable thing. So still having a movement 9 piece is quite exceptional for Dark Elves, but is such a bad thing, such an unfortunate thing to take the strength down. So this team has seen, probably the worst of Division 1 in terms of some pretty bad Kaz rolls this season. So it's going to be really struggling.
Yeah, I think that also it's kind of a cliche with the heretics of Lilith
Yep.
before the angels of Lilith, maybe. that got utterly destroyed during one season, and apparently one special rule was created within the REBBL to allow you to reroll your team if it got destroyed, even in the middle of a season. To at least help
Yeah.
you going somehow with a decent roster. But I remember also from the REL from America, the last season it was one Norse team. Yeti to Party was the name, I think it was,
Yeti to
that
party.
ended the season with a single player in the roster. That was
All right.
amazing.
Full
It was a
loners.
total disaster, total implosion of the team. You know that the REL1 is one of the most dangerous places
Yep.
uh, of the entire Rebel to be. So they couldn't withstand the amount of carnage and chaos and death
I was thinking
that
about this
was in there.
actually. This is kind of like the natural arc for most teams, isn't it? So they they sort of get up to a certain point, and then they're playing against teams with other kill skills. You know, every team has a well-developed Mighty Below piling on killer, or perhaps even claw as well. So the kill skills are really big, and it makes it very dangerous. I mean, when your players start to die, they become increasingly difficult to replace. You replace them with rookies, and you don't really want to do anything with your rookies really, because you want to do things with your best players. So it's tough to develop once players from an experienced team start to die, and tough to sort of bring on replacements. But yeah, it's gonna we'll see what Donkey Dragon wants to do with the heretics at the end of the season. And then finally, we're looking at Gare Bear. Gare Bear's maybe Orc will work, or MOWW as I think of them. Here they are looking at quite a nice team really, and they got the 2-0 admin win. So he hasn't really won any games this season, and he's just got to give himself an admin win. What levels did he get? He must have got some cash. He's got a team that's well.
Well, I have to say that that's not exactly true because they won a game against Interdimensional Bullshit the
Yep.
previous round,
Mhm.
so it's already one proper win plus one admin win, giving him 6 points for an amazing team that
Oh.
I still don't understand very well how has started so bad. Let's say this season. I mean, this is an amazing Orc team. Look at this.
It
They
is
have
good.
a legend Blitzer even. They have
Yep.
Knife Juggler there. This is a legend in the
Yep.
Gman.
Knife Juggler. He's a bit of a well-known player. Pro, all the kill skills here. So tackle, mighty blow, piling on, pro, and then with guard and juggernaut as well. So juggernaut, I guess, for some of those times when you blitz, you roll both down and skull or something, and then you're stuck to the player that you just blitz. So that kind of helps, or make sure you get a push when you really need a push. But so you know, it's a really good Orc team. It's what 1890, so fairly expensive. I don't know. I don't know whether Orc teams are better off with a troll at this point or without a troll.
It's the same question as the Chaos teams are better or worse with a minor.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not easy to answer. It's optional. A troll gives additional strength to the Orc team that it's always helpful. It's easy to get. Well, it's a piece who can get guard straight away, and strength 5 and guard is really useful, as we all know. But it's also really unreliable.
Yeah.
It's really unreliable. It's armor 9, okay, so it's
And thick
can
skull.
hold its place, but no thick skull. There is no thick skull in the troll. There is only regen.
Oh,
Regen is
sorry,
good,
regeneration. Yeah.
but thick skull makes him a bit less reliable than the classical ogre or croxigore.
Yep.
So also it's a 110k in team value, so it can boost the team bloat, let's say, a little bit more. Let's say that we exchange one of these linemen by a troll, so we increase the SP and the team value by 60, and we go up to 1950. And in terms of team value, orcs don't really want to give that many TV difference for inducements, or really want to get some inducements if they face high TV, let's say elves for a nice fireball, or chaos for maybe an apple or something.
Yeah, I think against elves you'd really like a bribe or two, wouldn't you, with these two dirty linemen as well? So that would be really nice. I think I'm just looking at this thrower here. He's got too many skills. I don't like a thrower like with fend and kick off return.
You don't like throwers at all.
I don't like throwers at all, but like this guy here, 130,000 for a terrible movement 5 guy. It's like that is bloating up your team value quite a lot. So I would
well, he has sure hands, and it's a useful skill to reduce the turnover rate.
Maybe
Failing the picking up the ball. He has kickoff return, so that helps him securing the ball, or at least gives him a good percentage rate of securing the ball in the kickoff. That helps a lot in case of a short kick of a deep one versus an agility team like Skaven or Elves. So I think it's a wise move from his side. And Fend, it's an all-round skill to have on the typical ball carrier. So I think it's quite boring, let's say, because there's nothing special in him. Yes, but it's useful. It's a useful piece, and I think it's good in his team.
He is almost a wizard Viking. Look, 130,000. That's basically giving a wizard to the other guy.
you're having the Skaven mentality, but this guy is really useful because he will be surrounded by his green mates who have let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guarders in this team. So it's really hard to get a 2-die in this guy.
Yeah.
Strip ball is not working against this guy. So in case any jumpy elf, war dancer, whatever, with strip ball attempts a blitz or a jump, a leap into this player, even with 2 red die block against him, he's not
losing it. Not
he's not leaving the ball unless he's brought down.
Well,
so I approve, strongly approve of this player.
If I was coming up against Gerber and we had to make a little deal, it was like, Gerber, do you want to have? You can get yourself a nice little thrower, and I'll get myself a nice little wizard for my rats. Then I think I would be like, yes, please, I'll take that deal. So, but I know it's not quite that how it works, but similar. That's what I would be thinking anyway. Get myself a wizard. All right, so that's the division. Let's have a quick glance at the divisions 2 and 3. So let's bring up the Gman sections. So Div 2, Gaudi is still going massive with 5 wins. So he's continuing his streak with Skaven, followed by 2 people, the Orcs of Manufacturer and Infinite Pink with his Nurgle on 11 points. So both of those teams have taken a couple of draws, but still got to play. I think the Skaven have still got to play some of the strong teams in the division. So Crowdog and Zinj, also 2 of my favourites for this season, are not far behind either. So along with Halob's Orc, so 2 Orc teams doing really well here. I wonder if they have throwers. I think they probably do. And then in Division 3 we've got Creaton's Lizards and the Umis, so both on 13 points. Really good records, 4 wins, a draw and a loss. So things are really starting to shape up, aren't they, in the divisions just below?
Yeah, well, it's a bit early to say. Only 5 games out of 13. Things can change a lot in 2-3 games. Things can even turn. But yes, it's clear that the T is going to have, or at least is going to have, a nice season. Also, he mentioned that he's been playing the agility teams, not the bash teams, so he may get the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah, he was also happy. What did he? I think he got some sort of level here, but he's got a really nice team with that.
Yeah, he's been hugging a lot of points with John and with Bob. Was it him?
I think Wilfred the thrower has been getting a lot of points. I think he's just finally got dodge on Wilfred.
Yeah,
so.
his filthy throw with agility 5 was
Agi 5, like to get dodge on an Agi 5 guy is a big move. So
amazing piece for a human team. It's an elf in
He'll
disguise.
Enjoying that. A really good elf as well. And can I just mention, we missed out last week. Just looking at Division 3, we missed out Irvindor. Irvindor contacted me and said, "You missed out my Nurgle team." And we did. And look at his symmetrical record here. He has, for a Nurgle team, had 0 losses and
5 draws
and 0 wins. So he's
amazing.
So Irvindor is.
How could we miss this?
Well, it must have been 4 draws last week, but now he's made it 5 with a draw against the other Nurgle team. Wow, I bet this was an exciting match to watch. The the 2 Nurgles playing each other, but they both managed to...
In a classical Nurgle bash with a 0-0 at the end.
Actually, Team Group Hug, I feel a bit sorry for Team Group Hug, because they're the team with no rotters whatsoever, and they have now lost probably their best piece, their Beast of Nurgle, so going down to losing a movement. So that's pretty harsh for
Yes.
for the Team
Oh,
Group Hug.
so sad.
Feel a bit sorry
And
for
Lord
Zinkle.
Borak was armor boosted, but who cares? Yeah,
Yep.
you know.
And Irvindor is in a much stronger position actually. His team is looking pretty good. He's got that Agi 4 Rotter, which I'm not quite sure about that. Agi 4 Claw, so there's an interesting combination of hitting and dodging skills. But he's got his Nurgle Warriors into a decent position anyway. Look at these Nurgle Warriors. Block, block, block. Mighty Blow and Guard, so already looking pretty good actually. So next thing he'll be looking to get a bit of claw on one of them or something. So.
Yeah, keep an eye on Günther Edvald, the plus agility block claw rotor. This is a piece that, we have to follow closely.
I think we'll check back on Gunther in the weeks to come. So do apologise about that, Irvindor. We'll check.
And
back
apologies
in
for skipping the team, man. Sorry for that.
We'll be focusing back on Div 2 next season. Now, next week, I think. So let's very quickly. We have had some suggestions from our viewers on some good games to watch. A couple of highlights from this week. Which one will we gonna have a look at first, Viking? Can you make a recommendation?
Yeah, well, we have 2 one-turn attempts to review. One, a classic in these reviews, I think, is going to be from the Bargain Branchers. So I go for this first.
Okay, so Bargain Branchers. We watched Haringzord attempt a sort of crazy one-turn last time.
Yeah, because in both one-turn tries, there are a couple of tactical comments that I like to make to our viewers.
Well,
who today are... Oh, Mayorbite.
Wait,
there you are.
So this is in Division 3, isn't it? I'm looking in the wrong division. So I think
yeah, Mayorbite is pointing that in Division 3, maybe, the Tigers and the... No, this is the Uruk-hai Division 2. There are orc teams with 6 and 7 strength for players. That's quite nasty.
Yeah, those orc teams have got... there's a lot of strength ups, aren't there, which makes things pretty tricky. So here we go, the Bargain Branchers. Looking at these halflings here, managed to get... He was quite proud of this, Haringzord. I was listening to the podcast yesterday, and he said, "Whoa, we managed to scrape a draw against..." I think I was watching this match actually. He was streaming this. This was earlier on in the week. So let's have a quick look at the. He's actually getting quite proficient at doing these one-turners. I think it was the
of course, the more you play, the better you get. That's how it works.
Is it Katie Croissant or something like that? Who's the one that scored last week? I wonder which food-related halfling will be sitting down in the end zone.
I don't remember.
We'll have a look. I think that's so here we are at Camp Croissant Stadium, the Bargain Branchers.
Yes. There was Poogie in there together with Deep Root. So it was actually a very entertaining match. I had a very nice time following it.
Yeah, it was a great match. Really good to watch. I think it's a good choice for Haringzord, the streamer, to choose that sort of team, because it does make for fantastic games to watch. Never completed, are they? They're never finished.
So there we're watching in small screenshots how the first half was going. Was the Lizard's drive. Haringzord managed to sack the ball with bold blitz from Poogie Bacon Breath, but eventually the Halflings lost the ball and the Lizards scored in turn 8. So, as usual, the Halflings were going to try their one-turn touchdown attempt. So there we have the Lizardmen that they know that the Halflings can score if they got lucky, setting up a screen defense with the Croxigor and his prehensile tile in the middle, 2 Sauri. There is a diving tackle, skink hidden in the right flank. Yes, And yeah, well, basically, Harinsol is going to try his typical play.
This looks like the weak area here, actually. If you were going to try and throw, you'd throw to the left Saurus, which is not got anything behind it, wouldn't you? You'd try and look to break through.
Well, I would like you to maybe freeze the the screen for a moment and speak about this weak point. Okay, touchback. I didn't remember that this was really helpful for Harinsol, of course. So he gave the ball. He gave the ball to. Well, we speak about the ball later. If you see this weak point that you say and you focus on the mirror weak point, this Sauri with Blood's break tackle, and the skink that is exactly behind.
So can I just can I just
you see that it's exactly the same, going through one way or the other, because you have to run through the exact name of the same amount of tackle zones if you go through this way or the other. Apparently you will not, because the skink is behind the lizard, the Sauri, but in reality it's exactly the same. You have to go through 1, 2, 3 dodges to cross through either of these ways. 1, 2, 3 exactly.
No, because where there's a column of 2 players, you have to go 1, 2, 3, and then dodge again. You'd have to make 4 dodges. So
no, you do not.
Yeah. So if you're going from the front here, if there's a column of 2 players, you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, and then there'd be 1 more dodge to get away.
You're making it the wrong way. You have to go through the crocs. You have to go the other way.
Oh, you're going to come
not through the crocs exactly, because of the prehensile tail.
Yeah,
but if you start in front of the Saurus, and you want make 1, 2, and the third is in diagonal in the direction of the crocs.
Yeah, no,
and no more are needed. So it's kind of tricky. I realized this later and was kind of interesting, because I think that maybe the lizards could have defended better if they have put another kind of screen, but I couldn't really think of a better way. But okay, it's kind of a side comment from my side.
I think the standard defense against one turning throw teammate defense is this is a sort of defense. There is no reason to put it right at the back of the field, the screen right at the back of the field if you're setting up against throw teammate, because you're not going to have to. You just need to set up so that you need to sort of stop them from. They're going to have to make dodges.
Yes.
But let's say that the throw ends up somewhere around here. It's much better to put you want to try and disrupt the landing as much as possible to make the halfling land in the tackle zones of the opposing players. So it's much better to bring the screen up about halfway around this sort of area here, so that the throw teammate, when it happens, let's say 6 squares forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so around about this line here. So I would say you want to set up your screen along this sort of area here in 2 rows, so that you can try and make the halfling land in 1, or if it's unlucky, 2 tackle zones, just to make the landing a bit harder. Remember, you get a -1 for every tackle zone you try and land in, to stick the landing, and then the dodges come afterwards, I think. So
yeah, possibly something like that.
Yeah, I think you would just want to bring the screen up forward a little bit. There's no reason for it to be right at the back when it can try and stop the landing. So he gets the touchback.
Yeah, you can see that he gave the ball to that halfling that is not in the line. The idea is clear: get the Saurus that is marking the tree away from it. So yeah, he can. There he made a 3+ dodge with Stunty, risk 1. So the tree does not have the -1 in the throw teammate attempt, and with a 2+ is an automatic success. But in my opinion, he should have given the ball to the halfling that is 1 step forwards, not the one that blocked, of course, but the one that is 1 square forwards, because in that way you can move your 3-man 1 square forwards too, and then try the 1 turn attempt and earn 1 square in the final distance the halfling is going to advance. And this can be critical, because we're speaking of movement 5 players, and every square counts.
Yeah, they have to get forwards, don't they? So with movement 5, you need that extra square sometimes to even just get to the end side. But here he goes. Barney Bacon, 1, 2 and 3. Yes, making those dodges, as you said, away into this square behind the Croxigore. So just has to make 3 stunty dodges.
And they go for it, and he made it. Yeah.
There he is. Yeah. So we're getting a lesson in how to one-turn touchdown from the Brunches. Seems like every week at the moment. So all right. Well done for Harrington. That secures his 2-2 draw. And the other one you want to have a look at is Major Bite's tremendous one-turner. So let's finish off with that this week. So let's quick come out of that replay. Major Bites also. No, this is in Division 2, isn't it? I need to look for Division 2 this time around. So let's have a quick look in here. Major Bite's, of course, been part of the Norse team. When you told me that Major Bite had scored a one-turner, I thought, what? Doesn't Major Bite play with Norse? And so I was quite surprised, and I'm quite impressed to see this one. So let's have a look at his replay. A bit of a highlight from this week. Oh, Major Bite's the one with the leap agi runners, isn't he? So he's got two really cool runners with agility 4 and kind of elf-like people.
Yeah, he has a cool team, and he's been the season has been a bit rough on his side for now. He lost a few games and also some players at the beginning. It was kind of nasty for his team, but he's keeping fighting for it, and that's the attitude you get. There was Morg in this game, as you can see, and Wilhelm Cheney. I mean, it was a kind of really starry team game, and yeah, he kept fighting for it, and he got it. So congratulations to Major Bite, and mate, keep fighting, and who knows, you may recover from this rough start and give everybody a surprise at the end of the season.
Wow, Wilhelm Cheney and Morg, 2 of the best star players, full stop really, on the team. He must have had a huge amount of inducements for this one. This is of course against one of the scary Orc teams with massive strength ups left, right and centre. So let's see.
So the first half that I checked was let's say a game of orcs removing Norsemen. So at the end of the defense, I think he was defending with only 4 players, something like that. Most of them were, yeah, no, Norsemen were only 4 in the pitch. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including Morg. So yeah, a lot of chaos, 2 injuries, quite rough for Major Bite as it has been the trend this season. So, okay, but he didn't put his hand down, and he was rewarded for this. So let's check. So there's the defense of the orcs with a strong lineman, black orc, and troll, guarded troll, and also the screen from orcs. Maybe not the best because it's giving some gap in the side.
I mean, so basically you got a choice in this situation. You're like, okay, Major Bite's got 0 rerolls, so he's got no room for error in this one-turn attempt. So the Orc coach must have been thinking, I'm going to keep my dudes back. That means that he doesn't get a claw or mighty blow hit with Morg on one of my best players. What players has he put in here? He's just put yeah, he's just put his rookies and his troll on the line here. So he's kind of sacrificing, hoping that no damage is done, and then is expecting to try and defend the second turn here. So I don't think he was expecting the one-turn attempt at all. Here's Cheney. Cheney, I just checked, doesn't even have dodge. He's just got agility 3 player. So what happens here? Oh, the quick snap.
Cheney is actually a really nice player. It's movement 8, I think.
Yep.
It's agility 3, yes, but I mean, if he gets one quick snap event, he needs only a couple of pushes to bring him in place. So here we see Morg making the 3-die block to try to get the push. Then another block is going to come in the frenzy of this Ulf Runner for a couple of extra pushes to Wilhelm Cheney, and this is really a mistake from from Major Byte's side because he rolled a push and defender down, and he chose the push when there was no option, no further option to push Cheney one square forwards. So he really needed to. He should have theoretically rolled the defender down to allow Cheney to go onwards without needing a 3+ dodge roll.
Yeah, sure. Like in that, if you're not going to push any further, then you want to, because Cheney's got a catch as well, so that'll add -1 to the tackle zone to catch, and add another dodge as well. So you could have put the liner down here, but what's going to happen in this case? So a little bit of an error there to choose the push. Maybe he was thinking maybe I can try and squeeze one more square if something can happen, but here we go.
There's the pass, the quick pass without interception chance. That's good play from Major Byte, and the handoff. And then we are rolling, and then we are finding the gap in the side and making it happen. Yay!
That is something you do not see very often. A score on a star player, Wilhelm Cheney, in one turn.
I wrote Major Byte about this play, and funnily he told me that he messed it up, not picking the defender down with the final block with the Ulfwarner, but that he checked the roll dice, and would he have picked the defender down, he would have failed the dodges, so he would not have made the one-turn attempt. So Naffel, you know, has a funny sense of humor at times.
And Major Byte goes on to win that match 2-1. So that one-turner is crucial in bringing down the high Qs, so the Uruk high Qs. Wow, congratulations Major Byte, that is a pretty stonking one-turner that you don't see very often, and yeah, really showing that never give up. Let's say, I don't know, maybe that was a 10-20%, probably a 10% chance without the reroll of a one-turner, but it's still worth at least setting up for anyway, because you miss all the shots that you don't take, so that's definitely worth remembering at those dodgy moments in your game when it seems like the dice are going against you.
It was a nice one, indeed.
Alright Viking, well that's it for this week. We've been through Division 1. Next week we're coming back to talk about Div 2, so all you Div 2 players, send in any plays that you'd want us to have a look at for the highlights, and we'll be checking up. It's been a while since we've looked at Div 2, but those rats at the top of the division, can they be beaten? They're 5-0, 5-0, and somebody's got to take them down, so Gaudi's Rats running Division 2 at the moment. Alright everybody, I've been Fatyn and this is Vikingkop. Thanks for watching the video, and well, see you next week. Thanks Viking.
Thank you, goodbye, and have fun guys.
Yep, have fun this week guys, everybody. Enjoy your REBBL games. Alright, cheers.